How is this different from, let's say, what happened in Karnataka in 2018 when BJP was the single largest party, but you allied with the JDS to keep them out of power? Betrayal of the alliance dharma, as it's called.
It's a betrayal, not a betrayal. There are degrees.
Perhaps a person who's a supporter of the DMK
I understand that.
voted for Congress thinking
I
you're in
understand.
alliance.
And Mr. Vijay, in return, very categorically asked and requested for the Congress's support. It was right on that call. I don't know on what grounds can the governor not invite Mr. Vijay.
But if an AMMK legislator comes, he fought on an NDA ticket, won't that same logic apply? Would the Congress have walked out had the DMK gotten more numbers or won? You would have stuck with your line?
They don't know politics. They don't know what to do. They're not out campaigning. He ran away after the stampede. All these sort of things. Didn't the youth say, we don't care for your traditional views. We do not care. But I think there's something called an alliance dharma.
I just want to point out the irony that you talk about alliance dharma, but it somehow seems not applicable with the fact that you fought with an alliance and walked out. I'm in conversation with senior Congress leader Praveen Chakravarty. In fact, one of the first people who came out and said that Congress should ally with the TVK. Something you'd said before the election, finally you people did right after. What stopped you from allying with TVK before the elections?
Well, in some sense, it's now a closed chapter, right? But we're a national party. So I think the Congress party provides the freedom for everybody to air their views, and that's beautiful. But we're also a national party, so there could be compulsions. It was very clear that the Tamil Nadu Congress cadre, vast majority of the Tamil Nadu Congress cadre, leaders, functionaries, saw this as an opportunity to rebuild the Congress. It was all about rebuilding the Congress, revitalizing the Congress. They saw it as an opportunity. Here's a new party with an extraordinarily popular figure who actually sets that his political ideology is very similar to the Congress, which is secular and progressive. So why not ally with this new party? That way, the party can also grow, because the party has not grown for the last 50, 60 years. However, the national leadership perhaps had other compulsions, and that's all right. And so I think an opportunity was provided for everyone to air their views. But just like the Tamil Nadu election, I must say there was also an age divide in this choice within the Congress party.
That's an interesting point you made, and I'll come back to that. But many people are calling it opportunistic, the fact that you jumped ship right after elections while you were a part of the coalition with DMK. So in that sense, DMK's loss is as much as yours, if not more. So if you're today saying that the mandate is for TVK and Vijay, that also means that the mandate is not for you, because you were not part of that alliance before elections. So would you agree that it seems opportunistic?
Not really. For one, it was not you. There was, like I said, a vast majority of the Tamil Nadu unit wanted to do this alliance. We could have done this alliance and we could have lost. We could have very well lost. But it was, regardless of whether they won or lost, this was the clamor from a large majority of the Tamil Nadu Congress. After the election, the Congress leadership said that they perhaps erred in not listening to the Tamil Nadu Congress unit, and hence, for a post-poll, they decided to leave the decision to the Tamil Nadu Congress unit.
Okay.
The Tamil Nadu Congress unit met. There was absolute unanimous support, unanimous decision to lend support to the TVK for post-poll. And why was that? Because the TVK fell short of a majority. Because the vote mandate was for a secular progressive government. Because the TVK has always made it clear. So the mandate was for a secular progressive government. And because they fell short of a majority, we've seen this in other states. There were very clear indications that this people's mandate could be disrespected by forces from the NDA alliance and could be used to enter Tamil Nadu through the back door.
Okay.
And we thought this was our moral, political, and constitutional responsibility to uphold the people's mandate. So if anything, I would actually say not doing so is the actual betrayal.
It's interesting you talk about people's mandate, but if I could play the devil's advocate here, if that's the case, then there have been multiple times when BJP got the people's mandate. They were single largest party in many cases, not having a simple majority. When other parties allied with them, you call that opportunistic. You did not recognize the fact that they got the mandate of the people. I understand the difference you're making of this being a secular, party as opposed to BJP. But if you're going simply by the logic of people's mandate,
Sure.
how is this different from, let's say, what happened in Karnataka in 2018 when BJP was the single largest party, but you allied with the JDS to keep them out of power? Before we continue, here's a quick pause to remind you that our coverage is 100% subscriber funded and subscriber driven. So if you want us to continue doing ground reports and bringing you interviews like these, then you have to become a subscriber of the News Minute and News Laundry and continue being with us. Scan the QR code and become a subscriber.
Now, Pooja, if you want to go back, dig into history and go back into starting from the 70s of all the various things that may have happened, I really can't speak or answer for that. So, the one thing I don't think anybody can answer is what about it?
I agree.
So I have made the case for this where I was personally involved.
Okay.
And I have articulated my case here. Right? Now, what happened in Karnataka or Maharashtra or Goa?
But the logic applies. You're a national party, right? You're not a Tamil Nadu party.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not disputing anything that you've said. I'm absolutely not disputing anything you've said. But I'm just saying I can't answer
That's out of your control. You can't speak for decisions of other party members, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But let's again stick to Tamil Nadu. The 5 legislators that you won have been with alliance with DMK. There is a case that many people make that if it wasn't for that alliance, you wouldn't have made. Of course, you maintain that if you were with an alliance with TVK, you would have gotten more. This is all hypothetical. At this point, what we know for a fact is the mandate was for DMK and to make Stalin the chief minister another time. So in that sense, because that was your campaign pitch, right? The fact remains that Rahul Gandhi barely campaigned this time in Tamil Nadu. So would that be a betrayal of the alliance dharma as it's called, if there is one still?
See, there is this. First of all, we must understand politics is much, much more complex and nuanced. All of you are positioning it as a binary. It's a betrayal, not a betrayal. There are degrees.
I'm not saying it's a betrayal. I'm only asking.
No. I mean, all of you meaning whatever. Then in the question, implicit in the question, implied in the question. It's not a binary. All right. What is the larger purpose of being a democracy? It is the people of Tamil Nadu have voted for something.
Okay.
There are clear attempts to bypass and subjugate people's mandate. Now, and if that is it not our duty to try to stop that betrayal?
But the mandate is not still for you.
Again, we have what we have. With what we have, should we not try to stop that betrayal of the people of Tamil Nadu, rather than this, political party? Okay, you won 5 seats based on 30% of my vote, and how many seats would the DMK you think would have won because of our
That's
vote
exactly
share,
my
right?
point. The vote transfer has happened. Perhaps a person who's a supporter of the DMK
I understand that.
voted for Congress thinking
No,
you're in alliance.
I understand.
So if this is a betrayal, won't that also be a betrayal?
Like I said, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's not a binary, right? I think that's why it's important to look at the larger picture. And I did see reports that the DMK president and the former chief minister, Mr. Stalin, personally asked the secretary of the CPI or the CPM about joining hands with the AIADMK to prevent TVK, a secular force, from forming government. Now, I would like that to be characterized by those of you who've somewhat been sympathetic to the DMK when they were in power. So I would like to understand how that would be characterized as.
If I could respond to that, in fact, we have been reporting, in fact, I spoke to Mr. MABB as well, who came on record to say this. So we have been reporting on that to answer your question. To look at what's happening now, you made a decision to leave the DMK alliance and come with TVK. Was that decision communicated to MK Stalin? Because the charge of those in DMK is that there was no consultation, there was no communication at the top level, and it was just done in a hurry, in a disrespectful manner, is what they accuse.
See, from what I know, I can tell you the facts. From what I know, Soon after the election results, Mr. Rahul Gandhi spoke to Mr. Stalin. I was not part of that conversation, so I don't know what transpired. Mr. Rahul Gandhi then also spoke to Mr. Vijay. I was part of that conversation, so I can tell you.
Okay.
In that conversation, Mr. Rahul Gandhi congratulated Mr. Vijay for the mandate that he got. And Mr. Vijay, in return, very categorically asked and requested for the Congress's support. It was right on that call.
Okay.
So this is what happened. Now, what was not communicated to Mr. Stalin? I don't know. And I think the Congress party is a fairly institutionalized party. So I am quite sure that Mr. Mallikarjuna Kharge, in his capacity as the president of the Congress party, has had discussions and has been and continues to be in discussions and touch with the DMK top leader.
Well, that's something that they're denying. And there is consensus on the sequence of events that you described just now, that there was a call with Mr. Stalin and then there was one. But after the call, was there a communication is where the gap is. I'm going to move on to the governor. You've been vocal as well, saying that the governor his behavior is unconstitutional. He should have called Mr. Vijay to form the government, at least to be sworn in and then a floor test. But the fact remains that even as of yesterday, your alliance has signed letters of 116 legislators, which is still one less than the halfway mark. So in that sense, do you think it's wise for the governor to wait a little longer?
On that aspect, I believe all the legal luminaries of the country, cutting across party lines and ideologies, seem be unanimous in their view that the place for proving strength is the floor of the assembly and not the lawns of the Lok Bhavan or the Raj Bhavan.
Sure.
So I don't know on what grounds can the governor not invite Mr. Vijay to form the government when Mr. Vijay submitted a letter, forget any alliance, that with 108 MLAs, they're the single largest party. B, the MLAs have elected him as the floor leader. C, they are staking a claim to form government. D, no one else has staked a claim.
Yeah.
There's simply no valid reason or explanation for the governor to not invite.
But practically speaking, do you think it would make sense for you to wait till you have 117, 118 to be safe? Because there have been 3 rounds that you've made. I mean, when I say you, your alliance has made to the governor's office. Again, being turned back each time, saying you don't have the numbers. So if you're confident of the numbers, would it not be prudent to just wait it out since nobody else, like you said rightly, is taking claim?
But
what is the hurry is my question.
No, but that is precisely, you've answered your own question. Why? The majority can only be proven on the floor when everyone is present. What is the governor going by today? Some letter, somebody's signature, some not signed. You get this letter, that letter. This is exactly what the Supreme Court has very clearly said. You can't do this. You can't judge this sitting in Lok Bhavan.
Okay.
You have to do it on the floor of the House. So that's exactly what is wrong with this whole process.
I come to the latest controversy. Just this morning, in fact, AMMK chief TTV Dinakaran has accused that the letter given by his legislator from Mannargudi, Kamraj, is forged. He's also asked your alliance to prove the veracity of the video that has been put out, where he's seen signing a letter himself. My question to you, since you're involved in the negotiations, one, did he come to you and tell you that he supports the alliance? And 2, was TTV Dinakaran consulted on it? His agreement was sought.
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't. We are not involved in those things.
Okay.
When you said we are involved in the negotiations, no, we're not involved in. We were not at all involved in negotiations with anybody from the NDA. I think at most our leadership may have perhaps spoken with some of the leaders of the left parties and VCK. Because they're part of the India bloc. Beyond that, it is really, and it is not correct as well, because we are only 5 MLAs at the end of the day.
Right.
It was really up to the TVK to manage this.
But as an observer, as a senior politician, your comments on it?
I don't know what exactly transpired. In fact, I've not even seen the video that you're referring to or the comments by the AMMK chief. But it just goes back to, I think we have to be careful. We should not miss the forest for the trees. This is precisely why, as the leader of the single largest party, invite him to form the government, ask him to prove the majority on the floor of the House. This is precisely why.
I was watching a few interviews where you said anybody who's part of the NDA alliance, and I think you were referring to the AIDMK, bringing them on board would mean that you're giving a backdoor entry to devious forces, if my translation is accurate. But if an AMMK legislator comes, he fought on an NDA ticket, won't that same logic apply?
Yeah, we're really clutching at straws here, but I don't know. See, I think the larger picture was that our goal was to uphold the people's mandate of the Tamil Nadu, which was for a secular progressive government. Now, if one person who was somewhere else and fought and now decides to come, I really can't answer those things. I think, but the larger picture and the larger message, I think everybody understands. Yes, the two kind of big forces, of course, the BJP does not have the numbers, so they can't even claim, but the AIADMK does. And yes, we do see them as not a part of a secular progressive alliance.
The reason I'm coming up with these specifics is there's a moralistic stand taken. It's not a political decision. The way you've positioned it as a moralistic one, which is why these details end up becoming important.
Yeah, I understand. And that's why I said it is complex and nuanced. I mean, I think the problem is the binary framework.
I understand. Would the Congress have walked out had the DMK gotten more numbers or won? You would have stuck with your...
How do I answer hypothetical questions? I can't answer hypothetical questions. All I can say is facts, which are, regardless of the election outcome, the vast majority of the Tamil Nadu Congress, for strengthening the Congress party and considering Mr. Vijay as an ideological ally, wanted to have a political alliance as well.
Okay.
And that position, after the result, kind of came to fruition. Yes, it has acquired much larger significance because of the shortage of the majority.
Yeah.
Right? Who could have known? Like I said, if the counter hypothetical question to your question is this, had Mr. Vijay got a majority, then would we not have gone?
Yeah. Would he want your support at all? Because it would become
correct.
At that point.
And like I said, the sequence of events was this. The leadership high command this time after the election realized that they probably erred in not listening. They probably did not quite understand the phenomenon. And hence they said, we will leave the decision to the state union.
It takes me back to the first answer that you gave, where you said that this is a generational gap as well within the Congress. And we've seen this play out in multiple states. So is this signaling of the fact that the old guard, perhaps, the Mallikarjun Kharge school of thought, so to speak, where they are more prudent, they look at allies in a different way, long-term allies versus political growth? Is this a signaling of that, do you think?
No, see, first of all, what is happening in Indian politics? I mean, why did most people not pick up the Vijay phenomenon? Why? I mean, and I saw so many videos, columns, papers by the commentariat class saying there's no structure. They don't have any. They're just mere fans. They don't have any money. They don't know politics. They don't know what to do. They're not out campaigning. He ran away after the stampede. All these sort of things. Didn't the youth say, we don't care for your traditional views? We do not care.
But may I just say that won't the same logic apply to a BJP? Because all of you, rightly so, have picked up a lot of things that BJP did wrong. And eventually the mandate has been to BJP again and again, multiple states, nationally speaking. If winnability is the only thing that matters, is the point I'm making, then all of these things don't apply.
No. It's not winnability. I'm talking about how politics has changed, not just in India, not just in Tamil Nadu, and Tamil Nadu is probably a reflection. So let me answer that by saying, why is it that I was reasonably convinced? Way back in August or September, when I was kind of doing some data work and all of that, there was one thing that just absolutely blew me, struck me. Just 75, 80, 85% of people under 40 said, we're going to vote for this person. Vote. We're not fans. We may be fans, but we're going to vote. And I kept doing this, and I said, in my 15-year experience or 20-year experience of analyzing elections, I've never seen a divide like this. Because as you grow older and older, people above 50, people above 60, 90% of them said, oh, he doesn't have experience. But here, 90% of them said, we're going to vote for him. This sort of age divide, I'd never seen. It took me back to Punjab to 2022.
Yeah.
I saw exactly the same thing, which was, we are tired of this two-party establishment status quo politics. We want change.
Right.
We want to give someone new a chance. We don't know whether it will work out or not, but we want to give them a chance.
Okay.
And that is why, and for me, 90% and 40% of the electorate is under 40. It was straightforward math for me. I don't know why so many people missed it, because I didn't do it once. I did it like 3 times. I couldn't believe my own numbers. So I am saying this is what this is how the country is changing.
You're saying that a party did not agree because of the national picture, because DMK had MPs.
Possibly.
Your leaders did.
But this is how politics is changing. How can we not adapt to our own party to this sort of change where people are saying we don't want status quo, establishment, traditional politics. I mean, money and caste and all schemes. And I remember when that women's scheme was announced, I think everyone, all of you in the media were like, done, the election is done. And the voters said, no, we don't care. So it tells us that there is just a huge disruption that's coming. And I am a true Congress person. I want my party to adapt to those changes.
But the similar kind of schemes have been mentioned in the manifesto of TVK. If anything, there have been more welfare schemes promised. So in that sense, it's not really a complete change of welfare politics. Wouldn't you agree?
No. So on the manifesto part, on the promises part, I agree. On the part, I'm talking about the style of politics.
Yeah, the man who's making that promise talks a different way, is of a different age, all of that. But the promise is, the bottom line is that it is also welfareism in nature. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. And I have no problems with that. Yeah. I'm not complaining about welfareism. I'm saying this traditional view saying, okay, people vote on caste. You have to give them money. You have to have some booth agents going around doing stuff. You have to give interviews to media. Then you have to you announce, you put cash in people's bank account a few days before elections, because it has happened in whatever, Bihar and Maharashtra and all of that. That will get you the election. That was the traditional view.
Well, that worked for you in Karnataka, according to many people's assessment.
No, I've written about it. So that's completely wrong. Had we not done that, we would have still won Karnataka. That's my
Telangana too?
200%.
Okay. I just want to take a couple of questions looking forward. Assuming that Vijay will be able to form the government. I know that as of now, the numbers are still looking dodgy. Every time we do interviews, we don't know by the time we air this what changes.
Exactly.
But I'm going to take a leap here. Based on the assumption that TVK managed to form a government, will you be part of the cabinet?
I think that's for the leadership. I think it is, again, just based on principles. It's a demand that the Tamil Nadu Congress had even before the election with the DMK. We just thought it was somewhat unfair for a party to take votes of alliance parties and come to power and then say, no, there's no share in power. It's almost unheard of in other states. So it's not even you can't even say the South is different, because Karnataka and Kerala and Andhra and Telangana all have. So, and we questioned it even back then. So I think that principle continues.
Was that the bone of contention? Because this time we did see a very different kind of campaign, because Rahul Gandhi, who started his Bharat Jodo Yatra from Tamil Nadu, flagged off by Stalin, did not share a stage even once. So was that the bone of contention for the animosity?
No. I mean, these are very strong words, animosity and all of that. I can't speak for those. But I think there's something called an alliance dharma.
Okay.
And I do not believe that whatever the Tamil Nadu Congress was asking was unreasonable or unfair.
Okay.
And it's fair to say that, they were disappointed.
Okay, I just want to point out the irony that you talk about alliance dharma, but it somehow seems not applicable with the fact that you fought with an alliance and walked out. But I'm not going to press on that any further.
Like I said, it's not a binary.
It's not a binary.
Okay. There can be bigger dharmas. There can be bigger dharmas and smaller dharmas. And sometimes you have to sacrifice smaller dharmas for the bigger dharma. That's what I'm trying to make.
But that's what seems opportunistic for somebody looking at outside.
No, of course. Yeah. It could seem if one wants to portray it that way, look at it that way. I'm not denying that prism to anybody.
Okay. But you're saying there is a possibility that your 5 MLAs or a couple of them will be part of the cabinet.
Absolutely possible.
And that is one of the conversations that you've had.
Absolutely possible. And yes,
because the CPI and CPIM have clearly said they will not be part of it. They'll be sitting outside support. Could you talk about IUML, because they are an ally, an important one in Kerala. What is the conversation with them? Because as of now, with the caveat as of now, they have not announced support. Are you in conversation with them?
No, I don't. No. I am not personally.
With the Congress party?
No, we may have kind of initiated or we may have nudged the IUML in Kerala. But like I said, our role is only that at this point in time, using some of our kind of, institutional relationships to nudge only to ensure that the people's mandate is upheld.
Okay.
That's it.
I want to ask you about VCK because I think that is the tricky one right now. Would the Congress party be comfortable if Thirumavalavan is offered TCM position with 2 legislators? Of course, he's not a legislator. But is that something you would be on board for?
I mean, these are completely hypothetical, Pooja. I'm sorry, I won't be able to answer this. It's completely hypothetical.
Is it really that hypothetical? Because from what we understand, that is one of the conversations. That is what has stopped him from making an announcement. One of the things.
That's from what you understand, but I don't know that.
Do tell us what's happening behind the scenes then.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
So why is VCK still not issuing a letter of support?
I don't know that.
You're not involved in that conversation?
No, I don't. I've never spoken. I have not spoken to Mr. Thirumavalavan about this.
Okay, I'm just going to end with the national picture. What happens to India bloc now? Is there one?
No, what do you mean? You have to expand or explain that question. What do you mean by what happens to India bloc? India bloc was a formation before the 2024 elections. So now, from what we know, there's no imminent elections anytime. So what do you mean by what happens to the India bloc? What is that? I mean, is some term and some for the media to use, or what does it translate to?
This is something you've coined, not us. But I just want to add, yesterday Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist, was talking about how these alliances are announced, but the depth of it is never announced. So are you saying that it's run its course and it doesn't have any?
I'm not able to understand what that means.
Come 2029, would the same set of parties fight elections together against the BJP?
They very well could. I think what a lot of people and so-called national media takes on this role for themselves is unable to distinguish between the national politics and state politics. We're a truly federal country. We're a truly federal country. We have 26 political parties in this country that have a shot at forming a government in one of the states of India at any given point in time.
Sure.
We must respect that. So we must respect that there's no dissonance between fighting against each other in a state election, but teaming up together to prevent bills such as the delimitation bill that are in Parliament. And I actually think there's no dissonance to that.
Okay.
If anything, I would say if someone says my support or opposition to the delimitation bill brought in Parliament by the BJP is contingent on my alliance in the state, I think that is what is hypocrisy.
No, I take your point that you fight elections separately in states because we see that in Kerala, we see that in West Bengal.
Exactly. Aam Aadmi Party.
I agree with you on that.
Absolutely.
But there's a difference between that and this because that is pre-agreed upon. Here there is clearly hostility because Kani Mori has even written to the Speaker of Lok Sabha saying change the seats. We don't want to sit with Congress. So you can't say it's business as usual, can you?
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying the DMK can view whatever they want to view it as through a prism. But
Are the channels of communication open with DMK still? With your party, I mean.
I'm sure 100% they are. I mean, so it's not, like I said, I think it is absolutely the norm and okay to fight against each other in a state election, which we do in Bengal, which we do everywhere. And be together in Parliament. And that is why I'm confused about this India bloc, because if your question is, will such a formation happen before the 2029 elections? It very well could. It absolutely very well could. There's no ruling that out.
Okay. I thank you for your time. We'll continue tracking what's happening. And it's very fast paced. And by the time we finish this interview, we'll have to go back and check what is developed. But I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.